Previously on Torah Smashed, the podcast for nerdy Jews. And all the symbols start to glow blue, and a fiery blue light emanates from the rocks, and the river Jordan waters part.
It is suspicious that coincided with Tirza finding the cat-shaped rock.
As you cross the Jordan River, you see the city of Ai ahead of you.
I feel like it's looking right at me. You see that? It just follows you.
KaiJew, we come here for your help.
I had no idea. Please forgive me. Please.
I take the knife. I cut the children free and my grandmother. And of course, I cut free Caleb.
So, in speaking with your grandmother, I was told that there is something of a curse or sentient about the city of Ai, where people come freely, but unless you have intent to return, nobody actually leaves.
You make your way towards the city gates, and people all over are shouting, "Don't leave," and "What are you doing? You're crazy!" And as you are running out of the gate shuts behind you as the last one of you leaves, and you hear this screeching. Iron on iron and stone on stone, and the gate itself transforms. It becomes a huge city golem. As you come out of the city, you are confronted by this huge golem. This thing is big. As you can see, it's taking up like 20 feet by 20 feet of space. It is a monster of huge proportions, and it is looking like it wants to stop you. Everybody, roll initiative.
God save us.
It doesn't want to just chat with us.
Definitely not a chatty city golem.
Okay.
The golem is before you, and I want to add that Rahab, your grandmother, and children start running to safety the other way, and the golem kind of glances in their direction and then turns its focus back to all of you.
Did we trigger the golem by leaving the city? Like, is that why nobody ever leaves the city?
You want to roll insight or arcana, whichever is better?
13 plus 4.
On a 17, you think that your presumption is correct, that leaving is what triggered the gate into transforming into this golem.
Okay. Well, that explains that.
And it is Rahav's turn first.
Okay, so we're really far away from this thing. And you know what? I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and attack this thing with an arrow.
Okay, roll to attack.
Oof, sorry, people.
All right.
I am not good at this.
So you shoot your arrow at the golem and it like bounces off of its knee. Doesn't appear to do any damage.
And I throw my hands up in the air and turn to my colleagues and say, well, what else have you got?
Don't worry. Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh is going to protect us.
If you would like to give bardic inspiration to one of your colleagues.
I would like to give bardic inspiration to Tirza.
All right, how are you going to give bardic inspiration to Tirza?
Well,
Don't you have to sing to her?
you know what? I have that, actually. That is what I would like to do. I do have a dulcimer, and I would like to pull out the dulcimer and sing for Tirza, play and sing a song of my native people, a song that is specifically about cooperation with newfound friends.
So you play a few notes on the dulcimer. Tirza, you feel inspired and bolstered. On an attack or ability check or saving throw that you choose, you can add 1d6 to your roll. Okay, that is their bardic inspiration. Cool. Excellent. And that brings us to Tirza.
Okay. First question. What terrain are we on?
It's gentle hills, not enough of a slope change to do anything like severe. You're near the river.
Okay. Would you describe it as being a desert environment?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Second, you described this as a construct, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My class feature is that I have a favored enemy, which is a construct.
Yes.
And I'm a natural explorer, and I'm very familiar with things that take place in the desert. So I'd love to roll a skill check to recall information about a golem. I'm hoping I can use my natural explorer bonus because I'm in a desert to help boost that roll.
Okay, because you're in a desert, it is your favored terrain, but this is more about movement and tracking. So you know exactly where the golem is, so you do not need to track it. But because constructs are your favorite enemy, yes, you may make an intelligence check to try to recall information. What are you trying to recall?
Yeah, I'd like to see if there is a easy way for us to defeat this golem, either in combat or through some sort of trickery. If it has a weak point like a thermal exhaust port or other sort of thing that would help us.
Go ahead and roll an intelligence check with advantage, please.
If I also wanted to use the inspiration I received, would this be an appropriate time to do that?
You could add a d6, and then it would add that d6 roll to whichever roll is higher. But you can roll it first and see if you think it's high enough to succeed. I would say that the DC on this is 18.
Looks like it gave me a 10.
So a 10 is not even within 6.
Yeah, I remember that it's a golem.
I will say that on a 10, you do think that there might be something that you could do, but it's back in your memory somewhere. You don't know what it is.
Hey, Tirza, what do we do with this thing?
I'm thinking about it. There's something.
So helpful, sis.
I'm going to keep thinking and dodging the giant golem.
I would call that a bonus action. So is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'd like to shoot at it with my longbow.
Okay.
Rolled a 19 to hit.
19 hits. Roll damage.
Damage is an 11.
Nice. Your arrow sails true, hits it around the midsection, and it kind of shudders. It looks like it's chipped off a little stone, but has not changed its movement. But it does decide that it is going to head your way.
Yahweh, help us. You've angered it.
Oh, I don't like how fast he moved.
And he is going to take its big stone fist and sweep it in kind of an arcing formation. Whoosh. It only gets Caleb and Joshua. Please make a dexterity saving throw, Caleb and Joshua.
I rolled 18.
18 succeeds. Excellent. And, I'm playing Joshua. I was like, Joshua, come on. Joshua gets a 4.
Leaving me out
Not
here.
his day.
Don't worry, Joshua. I'll help you later.
Okay. So the damage is 10. Caleb, you get to take half of it. You kind of like jump out of the way, and Joshua takes 10 damage.
Oh, rough.
Joshua is almost at half, and he says, I could use a little help looking at Arona. And that
Don't worry,
brings us to Noah.
Master.
It's my turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I am going to shout out, I think we should make this a little bit of a fairer fight. And I step over towards Caleb, and just for the added effect, I touch his shoulder and I say, for our people. And as I touch your shoulder, I cast Enlarge, which causes a creature within range to grow larger for the duration. So twice their normal size, which also changes their attack, I believe. Doubles in all dimensions. Its weight is multiplied by 8.
Looking good, Caleb.
Also, it has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. The weapons also grow to match its new size. And while the weapons are enlarged, the target's attacks with them deal 1d4 extra damage.
Excellent.
And I'm going to step, after doing that, just step about, say, 30 feet back.
I've been 5'3" my entire life. This is the biggest I've ever been in my life.
So
You're like 10-6 right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're trying to get a KaiJew from a Jew who uses key.
There it is.
It's the KaiJew.
Oh, but do please roll a 20-sided die from that last spell.
4.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, what?
That was the number you needed. Yeah, you're going to get a wild magic effect. On a 4, you are going to have a wild magic surge. This is the first time that we have done this in this game. The source of Noah's magic is wild. It's untamed. And so whenever she casts a spell, there is a chance that something else will happen because of the spell. So, oh my gosh, a unicorn appears next to you.
Oh, that's amazing. Great. And that unicorn acts on my turn going forward, or with me, or is this?
Yahweh has sent us a unicorn.
That unicorn is controlled by me.
Okay.
as you cast that spell, a unicorn appears next to you, and it kind of looks at you and winks and
I love
turns
this.
its horn towards the golem. Excellent. All right, Arona.
I'm so excited. All right. So I was thinking healing hands,
Okay, healing hands is a touch.
but I have enough movement to move next to Joshua.
Yep.
So I will come around. I'm coming, Master. Yahweh's healing power is within me, and I will lay my hands on you now. 2 + 1 is 3.
Joshua
Can
takes
I
that
get-
3 hit points with great appreciation.
I mean, if you want to like sing a little Mishabera, then, by all means. And then I believe I have a bonus action now that's valuable. So I would also like to employ spiritual weapon
Ooh.
towards this monstrous being by the power of Yahweh. I will create a floating spectral weapon.
What does your floating spectral weapon look like, Arona?
Oh, that's an amazing question. My spiritual weapon looks like an almond branch, a blooming almond branch.
Very nice.
Like a staff that the almonds are always in bloom. They never wither.
Excellent. You cast spiritual weapon, and where are you putting your spiritual weapon?
As close to the golem as I can get it. Looks
Excellent.
good. And do I have to click on something now?
Yes, you can make an attack.
Right. So then do I click the +4?
Click the +4.
1 + 4 is 5.
Nat 1, right?
Yeah, not good, right?
So yeah, I would say on spiritual weapon, it does not open you up to an opportunity attack. It just, you try to make an attack and it just kind of like twirls in the air a little bit.
Okay. But does it hang out there to be used again in the future?
Spiritual weapon lasts up to a minute or until you dismiss it.
Okay, great.
That brings us to Caleb.
Okie dokie. So the only thing that's different about me now is that I add this extra D4 of damage.
Yes.
Well, and you're big.
My very own Tom Hanks adaptation. So let's go for the quarterstaff. Wait, I have to move first. I gotta be closer to this thing.
You move up next to him?
Yep, move up next to him. Quarterstaff. 20.
A dirty 20 hits.
Okay, so that's a 9.
And then roll another D4.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a 1.
So you do 10 points of damage total.
But then I would like to use my bonus action of the flurry of blows.
Okay, so you're going to use one of your 3 key points ready for flurry of blows.
Okay, so the first one was an 8.
That one misses.
The second one is 11.
That one misses. So you come in with your quarterstaff and bam, give it a good whack on the knee, and it growls at the nuisance, and its attention is definitely drawn to the one that is bigger than the others. And then you kind of go into its other knee, but nothing seems to happen when you do that. Very nice. Joshua comes up to this side of the golem, pulls out his long sword, and he's going to use Channel Divinity and imbue his long sword with positive energy. He pulls out the long sword. He says a little prayer, and his sword begins to glow with a pretty bright light.
It reminds me of the glow that came off of Moshe's face at Mount Sinai.
It absolutely reminds you of that glow, especially since Joshua is his protege. And he attacks and misses, although I'm really upset because the die was on 17 and then rolled to 3. So Joshua attacks and misses the golem. That is his turn, which brings us back to Rahab.
Well, I am casting Shatter at the golem. Do I need to be closer, or is my line of sight sufficient?
You are within 60 feet, no problem.
Fantastic. Okay.
All right. The golem is rolling. Golem fails its save. So it's going to take all 10 of that damage as you strum a dissonant chord on your dulcimer and a rumble of thunder funneling the anger that you have in your heart towards the oppression that your people and your family and your city have felt as you cast Shatter directly on this golem. That definitely hurt it pretty badly. And you said you were going to do something else as a bonus action?
Yes, I think so. I think I'm going to continue playing on the dulcimer, following that dissonant chord, which in my mind had Pink Floyd-esque feelings, and use my secondary action of Bardic Inspiration cast for Noah, and I continue playing as the golem stumbles and regains its footing.
Do you say anything to Noah as you're giving her Bardic Inspiration?
I tell her that though I don't understand her plan, I can see in her eyes that there is something very real, and I have faith in her.
Tirza just shakes her head.
Finally, somebody notices me.
Tirza, as you shake your head, it is your turn.
So I'd like to cast Hail of Thorns.
Okay.
So what this does is the next time I hit a creature with a ranged weapon, the spell creates a rain of thorns that sprout out from the weapon. So in addition to the normal effect of the attack, they also have to make a saving throw. And if they fail, they take 1d10 of piercing damage in addition to what I do.
Excellent.
Cool. So now that that's there, I'm going to try and hit it with the longbow so that I can activate this.
Yeah.
I would like to spend my buff from Rahav because I rolled a 9 and I'd like to really make sure I hit.
Okay.
6.
A 15 hits. I will even be so kind to give you this gift. I'm in a good mood because as this episode airs, I'm just having so much fun. I'm willing to give you the gift of saying a 9 would not have hit.
I figured it would not have hit. Great. So I'll roll damage just for the actual longbow arrow. I rolled a 5. And for 1d10, I rolled a 3.
So a total of 8 damage. You shoot your longbow, and as it soars in its arc, it splits into thorny pieces, and the arrowhead goes into the golem's shoulder, and little bits of arrow shaft turn into thorns that kind of poke at its eyes as it like shakes its head and roars in the pain that you are causing. And it is the golem's turn. It is going to now make an attack at Joshua. Does a 22 hit? I think so. And it's going to do 13 damage, which brings Joshua down to 3 hit points. And then it's going to attack Caleb.
Oh dear.
Caleb does a 15 hit.
My armor class is 16.
Well, that's a no. So the golem slams its fist down on the ground on top of Joshua, and then slams its other fist down on the ground as you just very nimbly dodge out of the way. And Noah, it is your turn.
Great. I'm going to shout to the golem. No, I'm not going to shout to the golem. I'm going to shout out, hey, Tirza, check this. And then I'm going to cast Firebolt at the golem.
Okay.
With a 7. Wait, I'm going to use my Bardic Inspiration. Cool. So I got an 8 total. Does an 8 hit?
An 8 does not hit. Your firebolt lands in the dirt.
Tirza yells back, okay, I'm waiting to see it.
Better luck next time, Noah.
Leave me alone. Turning the whole group against me, Tirza. All right, that's my turn.
Perhaps next time you should send a prayer to Yahweh, and then your fireball will be sure to succeed.
Oh, is that it, Arona? Is that what I need to do? Thanks. I appreciate the help.
That's what you need.
Wow.
Oh, Noah, I believed in you.
Erroneously. Believe in Yahweh, not in Noah, and all will be well.
Hey, I am not one of you. I am just with you. I find your belief adorable and admirable.
The unicorn, with amazing speed, goes charging at the golem and then attacks it with the horn and hits for a total of 12 damage to the golem as it charges and whinnies, and then it attacks with its hooves and hits with its hooves, doing another 7 points of damage to the golem.
Noah, you have been so shamed by this unicorn.
You see that, Tirza? That was
Yahweh sent the unicorn.
That was my unicorn, Tirza. Did you see that?
Baruch
All right,
Hashem.
I'm busy concentrating on my thorns that actually hit.
The golem like roars and looks down at the unicorn, and if it could express anger, it would. Arona, it is your turn.
So I'm deeply concerned about my co-religionist Joshua, who's down to 3 hit points. So I would like to cast Healing Word upon him.
Okay.
Just
At
the one
level-
word?
Just the one word, which is obviously Yahweh.
Are you casting it at level 1 or level 2?
And no, I'm casting it at level 2.
Okay.
It's a 7.
Yes, Joshua gets 7 hit points. He says, Baruch Hashem, praise God.
Baruch Hashem.
He says it twice for Jason.
And then with my bonus action, I realized that last time I employed my spiritual weapon, I forgot to bless it in God's name. So this time I'm blessing my spiritual weapon before I employ it.
It is employed as a bonus action. You can attack with it.
Before I attack. Praise Yahweh. 18 plus 4 is 22. That's better.
22 hits.
Damage? 3.
The staff swings at the golem. The almonds shimmer as it arcs towards its midsection and does a little bit of damage. And I'm assuming you don't want to move.
No, I'm happy where I am.
Okay. So that means it is Caleb's turn.
Okay, hello. I would like to go back in with the quarterstaff.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 23 with the quarterstaff.
Very nice. Roll damage for the quarterstaff.
10.
You hit the golem for 10 damage with your quarterstaff, plus a d4.
Oh, right. We have
Wow.
4.
Doing 14 damage. Nice strike.
Okay.
That was
Finally
max
got that
damage
other
with
knee.
both rolls.
Yes, finally took out the other kneecap.
Totally.
Okay.
And the golem is like looking between you and the unicorn, wondering what to do next.
Right. And then I am going to follow it up with the unarmed attack.
Excellent.
16.
16 hits.
8.
Nice.
And then do I roll another d4? Because I'm large and semi in charge.
You are large and definitely in charge.
4 again.
Wow. You are brutal. You smack this with the quarterstaff and then come in with a kick to finish off the blow, doing so much damage to this golem, so much more than anyone else has done at this point. And guess who's back? Back again. Rabbi Ben Sharf is back, and it just so happens to be Joshua's turn in this battle against the golem.
I've been healing you. I've been nursing you through this battle. Just feel like you need to know that.
Yeah, but you've been rolling garbage.
Sacred deal.
So who am I attacking?
I'm assuming the golem.
Oh, there's a golem I'm attacking?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm using my longsword, I assume?
Yeah, that would be good.
10.
A 10, your sword glances off of the stone. You seem like you don't recognize it for some reason. We don't know why. As if maybe your whole spirit and essence has changed from one controlling factor to another.
He's still rolling just like you did, so it's fine.
We are at the top of our next round of combat, and that means it is Rahab's turn.
Okay. From the safe distance at which I currently stand, I'd like to use my 2nd level suggestion spell on this golem to see if I might suggest to the golem that it become inert.
All right, go ahead and say, so how are you going to phrase this?
I'll say, oh, giant monster with feet of clay, take this moment to be at peace. Ignore the tiny things surrounding you. They are no threat to you. Be still.
You say these words as you strum on your dulcimer, and the notes form a beautiful floating white spiral of energy that goes toward the golem, looking for its target and surrounding it and finding no real target on which to latch. The spell dissipates. And that brings us to Tirza's turn.
Cool. RDY. Earlier, I tried to do a check on favored enemy and I couldn't quite remember it. Is that a once per combat situation, or can I try and remember it again as a bonus action?
You can try, but because this is the second time and you've already thought this through, you're going to lose advantage.
Okay, I'll try that. It did not go well. I rolled a 3.
Woo! You feel like The one thing that you know is that its feet are not made of clay, this particular golem, because it's stone. But everything else, you just can't grasp anything that it might be able to give you advantage.
Oh, that's too bad. I tried. I'm just going to shoot it with a longbow then.
Alrighty.
I rolled a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits.
And for damage, a 6.
The damage is done. So you shoot an arrow at the golem. It like a little tiny chip of stone comes off of it. Are you going to move at all?
I think I'd like to take a couple steps backwards, please.
You got it. And that brings us to the golem's turn. The golem is going to raise its fist and slam down at the unicorn.
No.
Yeah.
Not the unicorn.
It hits.
Yeah, but like just a little bit though, right?
It
I
does.
sure hope this isn't what
21 points of damage to the unicorn. And then it takes the other fist and does it again because that horn did not feel good.
You know, when I was a kid, I accidentally put my hand on a bee and the stinger got in my hand. Is that sort of the same situation here?
For a kid, yeah, because you probably cried.
I meant, does the golem get stung by the unicorn horn?
Yeah, and cried.
Okay.
So the second slam, it slams right next to the unicorn and rolls a nat 1. So the unicorn actually kicks at it with its hoof and crikey, does a little damage. 7 damage to the golem. So the golem slams its fist down a second time and misses so badly that the unicorn just like rears up and with its back hooves. And that brings us to Noah.
Great.
His wild magic count is reset.
Oh, excellent. I'm going to cast Firebolt from this safe distance at the golem.
Okay.
11 to hit.
You sling a firebolt at it, and it kind of bounces harmlessly off the golem's shoulder.
All right, then I'm going to spend 2 sorcery points to then cast Ray of Frost. And I say to the golem, from the distance I am, my friend told you to take it easy and slow down. And I cast Ray of Frost and got an 8.
So again, fire and ice both bounce harmlessly off of the golem's incredibly hard exterior.
Maybe just think about it at least.
Tirza yells to Noah, have you considered hitting it with something?
Twins. The unicorn is going to again get a little stabby with the golem. That is a hit, doing 7 more points of damage. Now the golem is starting to you see the unicorn's horn go into the golem's knee, and you see it kind of stumble and stagger a little bit. It's still up and fighting, but it is getting towards the end of its abilities to continue.
Thank Yahweh for that.
Arona, it is your turn.
Oh, fantastic. I call upon Yahweh to aid me as I cast Burning Hands from the distance that I am at.
Okay.
7.
Okay, well, we'll see what the golem can do to avoid it. The golem successfully saves and takes half damage, which makes it 3 damage. And I know that in mathematics, for those of us who would say, hey, why is he rounding like that? In D&D, you always round down.
As my bonus action, I would love to use my Blooming Almond Wand again.
Oh, yeah.
At 12?
The staff swings at the golem, and the golem kind of bats it away with a hand.
So not really great.
Rumbles, not really a growl, but kind of the sound of stone hitting stone and scraping together.
Oh, Yahweh, I think I just annoyed him. Sorry about that.
What our viewers can't see is RDY just put his mic to his stomach right there. It was really incredible.
That's called borborygmy. I learned that from George Carlin. And that brings us to Caleb's turn.
Okay, I would like to do a quarterstaff attack with an unarmed strike as my bonus action, please.
Okay, let's go ahead with that quarterstaff attack.
Okay, I rolled 17, but
17 hits.
now
Now for damage, yes, you roll an extra d4.
So we got 10.
And the extra d4?
It's a 2.
Yahweh be praised.
It is staggered. And are you going to take any other monkey attacks? Monk-like attacks, not monkey attacks.
Yeah,
I mean, unless
say,
that's your fighting style. I don't judge.
Last I checked, I did not sprout a tail, but I guess anything could happen. I am going to do an unarmed strike as my bonus action.
Awesome.
Using her monkey tail.
Yes. That's what we're calling my quarterstaff now. So that was 19.
Your unarmed strike hits. Roll damage.
An 8 and another 2.
Just enough. Caleb, please describe what it looks like as your open palm strike takes down the golem of Ai.
Well, the unicorn had previously stabbed its knees, so I am aware of some weak points. And so I summon all of my strength into my palms, and with a good whack into the knee that the unicorn has previously damaged, he staggers backward, and as he hits the ground, sort of crumbles into a lot of disintegrated pieces.
Yes, beautiful.
Praise Yahweh.
Tirza turns to Noah and says, like that.
Yeah, I made Caleb big. That was me. I did that.
No, I ate my Wheaties.
I want to point out that Caleb did a very next generation palm punch. That was the gesture.
Later, Caleb's going to sit in a chair by doing the Riker maneuver. Yes.
And then a bunch of haymakers.
Yeah.
Yes. Is it haymakers or lulav shakes?
So as the golem falls to the ground, crumbling at Caleb's vicious strike, the ground rumbles and you all kind of like look at each other like, did we just, yeah, I get, ooh, okay. And there is suddenly a cheer that you can hear. As you look towards the city of Ai, you realize that a crowd had gathered at the gate with hundreds of people just like cheering, their hands up in the air, so excited and amazed that this golem was defeated. And as you start getting greeted by the throngs of people who just start running towards you and offering you gifts and food and, you know, trinkets, nothing that's going to be valuable, Ethan. And there is an interesting carving of a cat that someone offers the group. And
Tirza accepts.
And you're like just kind of taken in by this wave of people. They're all just thanking you. And you realize from this crowd, you start asking people questions, and they tell you that the reason nobody ever leaves Ai is because of the golem that guards the gate. And there has been no one who's been able to leave the city for years, because when they finally were able to defeat, you know, not exactly wizard, some kind of mechanical wizard character who made the golem itself never went away the way they thought it would when he was defeated. So they are just so excited to finally have met some powerful characters who, with the help of God, of course, nodding to Arona, have been able to defeat this. And as the celebration for you continues, you start to hear shouts of "Make way! Make way!" And the crowd starts to part, and people on horseback start to approach, a nice, not quite leisurely pace towards you. And as this group comes closer into view, you realize it's kind of a retinue. And you see someone just dressed so regally that you assume this must be some sort of leader. And sure enough, when he stops, you see his retinue, like they put out a little like stair thingy for him to step down from the horse. I'm sure it has a name. They come out, you know, they're like bannermen and shofar blowers who come and just announce the arrival of the king of Ai, who steps off of his horse and says to you, "You have our deepest thanks." Of course, every king in my universe is played by Sean Connery. "What is it that we can do to repay you? What is your mission here? How can we help?"
I think we all sort of like turn to Joshua and await his answer.
Just
slow head move. Everyone looks at Joshua, kind of akin to like everyone in a line and everyone steps backward, but Joshua.
Joshua was wondering if there can be only one king.
Of course, there could be only one.
Do we not need to go back and redeem the folks we left behind in Ai?
Your actions have redeemed them.
Wonderful.
Because
Praise
you
Yahweh.
have set us all free.
No circumcision's necessary.
What is our mission now that we've rescued our hostages?
I believe God has asked you to go to Jericho and take the city.
So perhaps I confer with my cohort here. Perhaps we want to ask for the king's help in escorting us to Jericho with protection.
That
We
can
could
be
also
arranged.
probably make use of those shofars you were just blowing. I hear they come in handy with capturing cities.
If the king is amenable to helping us because we saved them, would he be willing to help us take over another Canaanite city?
The king looks at you and says, I believe that can be arranged as well. In fact, I want to offer this gift to you. And he holds up these boots.
Are made for walking?
They are made for running.
Do they have wings on them?
They are gilded boots. He says, these are known as the boots of Shinar. These will give great speed to the wearers of these boots. And if you needed to run quickly at, say, a castle wall, these would be very helpful for you. And he hands the party the groups. Joshua, I think you're kind of up front.
I graciously accept the boots.
In Yahweh's name, of course.
In Yahweh's name, of course. In Yahweh's name, I graciously accept the boots, Your Majesty.
He nods at you and smiles, and he says, I can also offer you some troops. And he raises a hand, and 2 units of troops kind of march out. They're holding spears, and he says, these are yours to command, should you choose to use them as you siege Jericho. And that is not all. He points again, and one of the heralds blows into a shofar, and these 2 trebuchets start rolling out towards you. He says, please accept these siege weapons as well. You have our deepest hopes that you too will be successful in your next quest.
Thank you, King Conry.
Does he provide us with people to haul these trebuchets? Aren't they enormous?
Absolutely. Operators,
The host.
like, yeah,
The
he's got
host.
people
Right.
to move them and operate them. You can treat them as if they move on their own when we get there. But yeah, he provides you with expert
Excellent.
trebuchetists.
Just making sure, because my training has not prepared me to haul a trebuchet across,
Yes.
all the way to Jericho.
No, we
That
know
is-
what your training has prepared you for, Rahab.
Oh, I know you do, Arona.
And the king also says, we also hope that you will take your time to rest and tend to your wounds. Please join us for a feast this evening. We have much preparing to do, but we have much to offer you as well.
Oh, I'd love to relax. I'd find in these situations that if I just sit down, the solution simply presents itself.
And I believe the Sabbath is coming, so it's time to rest anyway.
That's strange. It's Tuesday. And
The Sabbath is always coming.
I suppose that's correct. As you go in, you make your way into the city. The king and his retinue bring you into, it's not exactly a palace. It's a very nice, multi-level, very large building, but I wouldn't call it a palace, more like a fort. And you are treated to amazing, delicious, all within your dietary laws food. And as you enjoy your meal, you may all click a long rest.
This is the most refreshing oneg I've had in years.
Tavat vayinafash.
Both in the game world and in the real world, I would imagine. Now, as you prepare to raid Jericho.
And are we just leaving the city, just leaving it without the cat rock and our money?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that when they offered us everything, that Tirza was like, I'd like my cat rock back.
They gave us our stuff.
Yeah, it's an all-included exit package.
They
Great.
definitely give you your stuff.
Okay. RDY. So cat rock is returned.
Sure.
Yes, but I
Yes,
have
excellent.
information.
I want you to put it in a trebuchet.
Hold on. Frisch, I got to get the cat rock
Yahweh
added back
has-
to my inventory,
What?
and then I'll get your plot information.
Oh, my Lanta.
As you prepare, please remember that some of you can summon help, and this would be the time to do it.
Is this like my arc bearers?
That would be included, yes.
Oh, great.
Okay.
We're going to need them. And let me tell you why. Because Yahweh, by way of Bubby, shared with me in captivity that Jericho will be weakened if the Ark is able to make 3 complete circuits around the city.
Okay, great. I know exactly how to make that happen.
Incredible. And I will do what I can to protect you to make that happen.
Noah recommends that we give the boots to the ark bearers so that they can travel more quickly around Jericho.
I
Okay.
concur.
How
So
many
how about-
pairs of boots did we get?
Just one.
I believe I have multiple arc bearers, but maybe if just one of them is wearing the boots, it'll be enough.
We'll allow it, yes. Because the Ark has properties to it, and so do the battle mechanics of sieging that allow units to kind of share special abilities. So
And-
we'll consider the Ark Bearers a unit.
Okay.
I'm going to reach out to my reliable and trustworthy criminal contact and ask them to gather all the corrupt caravan masters and seedy sailors that they can to support us in our battle.
Wouldn't your criminal contacts all be on the other side of the Jordan?
It's not specified. It just says I have a reliable contact who acts as your liaison to a network of
I
other
know, but
criminals.
you should know who it is.
You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Specifically, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you.
I think there are some things that should be said out loud instead of in the chat.
I need a minute. Barack said the words seedy sailors, and I heard CD, like compact disc CD sailors, people who sell CDs and not sketchy boatsmen.
Yeah. Well, for our
So
younger listeners,
funny.
those definitely existed at this time. Absolutely.
Are we making a stop at Columbia House?
Yeah, we have a record deal as part of our siege on Jericho.
Well, do I know the plan? Oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to send out a message letting them know the date that we're attacking Jericho, and I want them to attack from the opposite side of the main entrance and distract from the front wall, pulling armies to the back.
Is there a chance that they will tell the people of Jericho, hey, by the way, you're going to be attacked?
No, these are my trusty, corrupt contacts.
No,
Contacts are loyal to her, but not to Jericho.
Oh, great. Love that plan.
I also have criminal contacts, and should I be reaching out to them as well, or is there
Sure.
overlap between Noah's and mine?
Yeah, you can give it a try.
I would love that. Sure.
You have some high-level customers who probably would be able to offer something.
Sure.
Right,
And probably some other, ladies of the Jericho evening that might be able to help us in some way.
What fighting skills do you imagine ladies of the Jericho evening might have?
Well, if they're anything like me, then they possess some kind of magical powers of persuasion and charm. Maybe they play alternate instruments to complement my dulcimer.
I feel like they would also have some self-defense training.
Certainly. Yeah. I imagine that the ladies of the Jericho evening are much like the
Are you about to say what I'm about to say? Yes, Miriam, yes!
the companions of the Firefly universe, in that they are trained in combat and dulcimer, I might add.
I was having this thought too.
So I am Rahab / Inara, and I think I can have an army of ruthless battle hookers.
Ruthless battle hookers.
That needs to be the subtitle of this episode. The Army of Ruthless Battle Hookers.
In the name of Yahweh, of course.
And looking good while we do it. So I would like to send out messages, if possible, to the ladies of the Jericho evening and any surrounding battle hookers that might want to join us in this holy quest.
They could attack from inside. It's coming from inside the house, right?
Arona is concerned about how many non-Yahwists are involved in this plan, and that God might punish us for conferring with idolatrists, but she's willing to go along with the plan for now.
I think Rahab would like to reassure Arona, if you have my loyalties, and you had the loyalties of Khatul, who trained under me when we were in Ai, you will probably have the loyalties of the ladies of the Jericho evening as well, and their skills. And I don't know how close Noah's connections are to her CD seamen, but I can tell you that if her CD sailors need to be controlled, it is my idolater hooker army that's going to be able to do it.
Arona suggests that if each lady of the Jericho evening brings one foreskin to offer,
delivered by mage hand,
be acceptable to they would be acceptable to Yahweh, and therefore we might even build like a hill or a mountain
out of foreskin.
Out of foreskins to commemorate the dedication of the ladies of Jericho to Yahweh's service.
Noah recommends that we take that foreskin and just plant it under a tree that will serve as the entrance to the Holy Land.
Seated by the foreskins of CD seamen.
And now this is turning into a real D&D game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just want to say that I know that we gave the arc bearers the shoes of speediness or whatever.
The boots of Shinar.
Thank you.
You see, in the book of Joshua, there is the armor of Shinar, probably pronounced the armor of Shinar, that Joshua is able to don to give him protection.
So my point about that was that I remember the king saying that the boots of Shinar, which are not the boots of speediness, can also take down a castle wall. Like he was saying, if you wore them and you ran straight into the wall. So like, can we swap the boots and like give them to somebody who's in a position to attack? I'm not advocating they go to me, by the way.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. You believe that if a character wearing boots that made you faster and did nothing else but make you faster runs straight into a castle wall, that character would do more damage to the wall than the wall would do to the character? Is that what I'm understanding?
You may have misunderstood the King of Ai, Caleb.
I just want to hit things.
Hey there, listeners. Your favorite Torah Smashed trio is interrupting this episode to share some exciting news.
That's right. Our podcast just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, but this adventure isn't over yet.
We're on a quest to ensure Torah Smashed can continue to cast its charm spell on you for the next 5 years.
With your support, we can continue to share our epic tales, nerdy rants, and even more questionable puns.
But friends, even podcasts with dozens and dozens of listeners need a little boost from time to time. That's where you come in.
We're not asking for gold pieces or magic artifacts, although we won't say no if you have any lying around. We're simply asking for your support. Go to torahsmashed.com/donate to help keep the fun going.
So if you've enjoyed listening to us while you sort your Legos, organize your comics, or prepare for your next dungeon crawl, consider supporting the podcast during this epic summer fundraiser by going to torahsmashed.com/donate.
We've set up fundraising milestones, but anything that you can give to help keep the lights on in our virtual studio is greatly appreciated.
Plus, if we reach our top fundraising goal, we'll be able to host some live shows, and you can see for yourself that I'm not a Muppet.
RDY, I finally got the chance to meet you in person, and I gotta be honest, I'm still not convinced.
And back to the ad spot. Listeners, go to torahsmashed.com/donate. And if you're unable to support us financially, leaving a 5-star review wherever you listen helps us just as much on Torah Smash's 5-year quest.
Torah Smash!
Assemble!
After resting and feasting and getting yourselves ready for battle, you are approaching the city of Jericho. You have all summoned troops. You have summoned 2 units of female archers who are with Tirza, and Tirza is also near the battering ram. Noah has summoned 2 units of seedy sailors who have split themselves up. Some are up near the front and some are near the back. Noah, you've positioned yourself by one of the trebuchets and the other one is next to that. The arc bearers and Arona are near the center of the group with spear troops in front of Arona and then another unit of spear troops next to that. There is infantry with you as well. And Rahab, you have summoned the ladies of the Jericho evening. And Caleb, you have summoned Israelite monks. And Joshua, you have been granted the ability from the king of Ai to command his camel-mounted cavalry. You've also, in our little break that we just took, positioned yourselves on our little battle map so that you can very successfully, hopefully, navigate this battle. As you approach the castle, you can see that the wall in front of you is about 70 feet wide. You do not yet know how far back it goes. You see what seems to be the top of ballista on two of the pillars. You also see units of archers positioned on top of the battlements. You approach the castle, and just to explain battle mechanics in a siege in Dungeons & Dragons, rather than having character-to-character battle where there are large hit point counts and a lot of dice rolling to find out what happens to each individual attack, the way this is going to work is you're attacking as units, and your character can attach yourself to a unit, and it would be the same unit throughout the whole time. So Rahab, you would be with the Ladies of the Night. Arona, you would be with the Arc Bearers. Caleb, you would be with the monks. Joshua with the cavalry. Tirza with the archers. And Noah with the seamen. The units can act on their own and will keep attacking if they're not given orders. Joshua can order any unattached unit. And they all have special abilities that we have talked about offline that we can just assume that if you hear it on this podcast, that you are hearing them do the right thing. The units, if they shrink to half of their size or less, they will have to roll morale to see if they stay in the battle. This is both for our heroes' troops and for our enemy troops. And there are some trebuchets on the battlefield, a battering ram, and on the castle, as I've described, are ballistas, and those all can be attacked, or if you want to try, avoided. Any questions?
Can I say that Noah has changed her appearance to more of a heroine-esque? Her cloak has more military sense to it that she's wearing, and she has shortened her hair for easier line of sight as she fights, using her shapeshift.
Awesome. So you are approaching this with caution, and at the same time, we are going to ask you all to please roll initiative. Great. Here we go. Tirza, you are up.
Okay, cool. So looking ahead, is there like an obvious commander or leader who is visible leading some of the troops right now?
You are 60 feet away from any enemy troops that you see. I will allow a perception check at disadvantage to see if you can tell who the obvious leader is.
Okay, I rolled. My disadvantage is 14.
On a 14, you can't tell who the leader is, but you do see enough movement toward the front that it does seem like someone is probably front and center.
All right, can I take a shot at them with the longbow?
You can't tell enough to see who they are or where they are. You're just trying to shoot an arrow randomly into a crowd and hope you get the right guy.
Yeah, well, and I get to do it twice.
Into a crowd to see if you get the right guy.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck.
I hope we just hear a cat like,
No, actually, that's a great point. I quickly rubs the returned cat rock as a charm and then prepares to do this. Where do I see the feat I took? Sharpshooter. Here we go. Okay, we're really going to be hoping here.
You're really leaning into this.
Yeah.
So attacking at long range does not impose disadvantage. Your ranged weapon attacks ignore half cover and 3/4 cover. And before you make an attack, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to add 10 to the damage.
Yeah. I mean, the odds are not there, but how glorious is Tirza going to look if she just nails the leader? So let's find out.
Roll your longbow, and I'm going to say you have probably a 2% chance to hit the right person.
Great.
So first, roll to see if you even hit anything.
Okay, so that was a dirty 20 with sharpshooter be -5. That'd be a 15.
Okay, a 15 would hit for the other units up there. It would not hit the person you're trying to hit. So roll a percentile dice.
Uh-huh.
And if you get 2 or under, you actually do hit the person that you were hoping to hit.
Okay, I rolled a 46, so I hit someone else.
You hit someone else. Out of that whole unit of archers, 1 archer falls.
Okay, well, I get a second attack.
Good luck.
Yeah. Uh-oh. That was a 5 to hit.
That does not hit. That second arrow sails, gets kind of caught in the bowstring, and hits a tree.
Okay. Tirza kind of yells over to Arona and asks, how do I get Yahweh on my side?
You must pray or offer up a sacrifice of some kind.
Tirza doesn't say anything, but does look at the cat rock.
Tirza, would you like to have your archers attack?
Yeah, the archers are going to archer.
Okay. Archer's gonna archer. Is there a unit or a ballista you'd like to aim at?
Yeah, let's do the ballista on the left.
Just roll an unarmed strike, and then we'll give them that same bonus to hit.
Well, they rolled a 13 to hit.
The 13 does not hit.
Okay. With their second attack, they're going to attack the leftmost group of archers.
Okay. Roll to hit.
They rolled a 23 to hit, which feels better to me.
23 is more than 10, their armor class. So they take 2 damage, which also means they have to roll more out. That was fast. This group of archers runs away. They're like, oh my God, arrows. It's war. We don't know what we're doing. We just started here. I didn't know that we were actually going to get attacked back. This is ridiculous. We're out of here. And they run away.
Amazing. That was effective.
Terrible.
Go, sis.
What do you mean? That was great. Yeah.
Praise Yahweh, see them flee before his might.
Woo. Okay. Joshua, you are next, as well as the troops you command.
So I'm thinking we will run cover for the arc bearers.
Oh.
So we'll take the cavalry and be protection around them as they go and circle the city.
So the cavalry has a speed of 60. The arc bearers have a speed of 80.
Okay, so we'll take a head start.
Okay. So you and the cavalry are going to go here. And you do have an action if you have any distance attacking that you'd like to do?
No.
Okay. Did you want to maybe delay an action?
Sure.
Since all you've done is movement? What would you like to delay?
I'm going to delay a longsword, assuming we encounter someone.
So if someone comes in range, you will attack with longsword.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Arona.
All right. I'm going to bless my arc bearers before I send them off to begin their rotations of city with their magic boots. So
magic boots. Their speed with the boots, by the way, is doubled.
That's amazing. I'm so excited to be sending them on this most sacred of missions in Yahweh's name. And so I bless them in Yahweh's name, casting bless at the second level. Yes. I'm going to bless both arc bearers as well as Caleb.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So having done that, I'm now going to give my arc bearers the instruction to bear the ark around the city of Jericho 3 times as fast as they can. And also I'm going to instruct them that should they encounter any enemies, they are to stop and defend themselves using the weaponry within the ark.
They start zooming. Zoom.
Is that the noise they make?
I was about to say, can we do sound effects for them?
It's like the noise.
They actually, the angelic hosts are singing. So it's actually like, hallelujah, like as they're...
Handel's Messiah plays.
But with like the Doppler effect. So it's like... Hallelujah.
Yeah, exactly.
That is
It's
now
like
canon.
emanating from the ark, like as if the ark had like a Bluetooth speaker.
Like a holy ice cream truck
Yeah.
coming around the corner.
Does that mean that we get to hear that every
God.
time they come around?
Every time. Every time.
This is awesome.
It's playing Hallelujah in ragtime.
Beautiful. And Arona, you've sent the ark on its way around. And as it goes around, you can kind of also sense that there are more dangers on that side of the castle.
Yes, I am deeply concerned for them, but also concerned for my team who might need my healing skills.
Yeah.
I'm also trusting a little bit in Yahweh to protect them as they go. Do I have bonus actions now?
It is now your turn. You've commanded them, but you have your full turn.
What would I like to do? Oh, I'd like to cast my spiritual weapon.
You can't cast 2 spells, even if one's a bonus action.
Right. Okay, then I cede my turn to the next person.
I see the rest of my time. Then that brings us to Rahab.
Fantastic. I have set up with my ladies of the Jericho evening to the side of the kind of center of battle on a small hill where we're all musicians by training. I'm carrying a dulcimer, but the other ladies have other instruments as well. It's in my skill set that I can play a variety of these instruments. So
this
we bring
is
them all out.
Jerichopalooza.
Yeah, so we bring them all out on this small hill and we kind of start setting up camp because we know what our jobs are, and our jobs are inspiration and motivation and magic. So we've pulled out the instruments and we're discussing, musical prospect.
May I recommend that you play the rock of Jericho?
Well, we'll think about that. I was thinking Cole Porter, but what. So I'm curious, as we look to the castle, can I see the ballistas?
Yes, you can see 2
They're
ballistas.
in my line of sight.
Yes.
So what I'd like to do is first, me and the ladies are going to cast Bardic Inspiration as our bonus action on Noah and her seamen. And while we're doing that, I'm also looking to the ballista on the right-hand side of the castle. And is that a 20-foot radius, the ballista?
It takes up 1 square.
Perfect. That square, I'm going to cast Nether's Mischief.
Ooh.
So the idea being that though this ballista has not had the chance to attack, anyone that wanders up to use it will fall prey to whatever my die roll says, right? I don't know.
A 4-sided die.
I rolled a 3.
Each creature in the cube must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or begin giggling until the start of your next turn. A giggling creature is basically incapacitated, and if it moves, it has to just move in a random direction. So I will roll for the giggling.
In which case, we have now started singing Cole Porter's Be a Clown.
Got a 9. So the ballista operators start giggling uncontrollably, and this ballista is incapacitated until your next turn.
We continue singing Be a Clown.
That brings us to the ballista's turn. And since the one on the right cannot attack because they are giggling, the one on the left is going to take a shot at Joshua and the cavalry because they're getting a little nervous. Ugh, I got a 10. That does not hit. And then it's the archer's turn on the wall. So the archers up here are going to take shots in various directions. First, there are 5 units of archers. Each of them is going to attack. These archers are going to attack the ark and the ark bearers. That's a nat 1.
Praise Yahweh.
And that is a 5.
It's the group of the Robin Hood Men in Tights archers, and they're just like dragging them way over their heads. And yeah.
This other set of archers is going to do the same. Another 5 and another 5. This die only rolls 5s. You're going to dice jail. Next, this third set of archers is going to take a shot at this rock band over here. They're afraid of this magic that's happening. A 2 is not going to hit. This group of archers is also going to shoot at the ladies of Jericho. An 11 does not hit. This is embarrassing.
Why do you sound so frustrating? I like it when they don't hit.
but because I'm at least trying to like make a challenge for you all. And the last group of archers is going to shoot towards the battering ram. They're a little bit afraid over here. So they're going to attack at Tirza and the other archers. Another 11 and another 11. Oh my God. The odds of this
I don't
have
know
to be
why you're
so low.
so surprised.
I'm thrilled.
Everything is possible under Yahweh.
So all 5 units of archers that you can see miss. And that's the archers.
Miracle of biblical proportions.
Yeah. And on that as well, from inside the palace, the Jericonian cavalry starts to come out of the front gate. So the gate opens up just enough these camel riders to come through one at a time as they gallop towards Joshua and their cavalry. And this unit of cavalry actually can attack. The unit of cavalry that has come down below Joshua's cavalry is going to attack Joshua's cavalry. They get a 21, and that does not beat them by 10. So Joshua's cavalry is going to lose 1 hit point.
And remember, we also reserved our attack.
That's true. Go ahead.
Okay. 23.
23 hits and does not beat them by 10. So they will also lose one hit point. All right, it's Caleb's turn.
Howdy. I would like to walk all of my 40 feet in the direction of Joshua to come and help him out so that I can perform my mission, which is to protect Arona and the Ark Bearers. And I know Arona has not moved, but the Ark Bearers are going to be in need of support.
Are your monks moving with you?
Yes, please. We go together like da-da-da, gonna sack Jericho.
I have moved you, so now you are right up against the cavalry, and that is only 1 movement, so you still can attack.
Great, I would love to. Let's go for the good old combo of quarterstaff and unarmed strike.
Who are you attacking?
I would like to attack the cavalry.
I assume it's the one that's in range right in front of you?
Yep.
Okay, great.
13.
Great. You don't need to roll damage, so go ahead with quarterstaff 2.
14.
So both of those strikes miss the cavalry. They bounce off their armor and they don't take damage. You still can do an unarmed strike.
Yeah. 11. That probably doesn't hurt
Also
them either.
does not hit. Correct. So
Okay.
Unfortunately, your attacks do not affect the cavalry. And are your monks going to attack?
Yeah.
Is one attacking one and one attacking another? Or are they both attacking the same unit?
I was going to have them each try to go for a different one. So this is for the first monk on my left.
Okay. And the cavalry?
It is a 14.
On a 14, plus your 1 that you rolled for bless, that actually does hit. So we're going to reduce this cavalry by 1.
Praise Yahweh.
Yay. Do they have to roll for
They get to roll morale now. Yes. A 19 will do it. They stay together.
Okay. And a 1.
A 1 definitely does not hit.
Caleb, did you remember to make your sacrifice to Yahweh?
Oh, and I meant to say my prayer as I ran up the hill toward Joshua, and it slipped my mind.
Well, that explains that.
Well, God always answers our prayers, but sometimes the answer is no.
Yeah, that too.
And that brings us to Noah.
Amazing. I am going to cast Firebolt at the left ballista.
Okay.
Here we go. Firebolt! 15.
A 15 hits.
Yay!
Praise Yahweh.
9 damage.
Are you going to say praise Yahweh every time someone hits?
I kind of want to.
Just pick your favorite one during the editing and just splice it in every few seconds.
I'm just keeping consistency with my character, so.
Absolutely. Sorry, Wild Magic Surge. Roll a d20 for Wild Magic.
Here we go. 17.
Alrighty. Nothing happens.
Yay.
All right. Noah, do you want to do anything else?
I think I do. I did so well that I'm going to use up some of my sorcery points, cast Quicken Spell,
Sorry, this mechanic, it changes the casting time to one bonus action for the casting, but you still cannot cast 2 spells in one round.
All right,
You can twin it, but you can't quicken it.
Oh, one for a cantrip to target a second creature in range with the same spell as long as the spell, the level being cast, is incapable of targeting more than one. Okay, great. So I'm going to use 1 sorcery point for that cantrip, and I'm going to cast Firebolt again at the same ballista.
That you can do.
15 to hit.
15 hits.
Praise Yahweh.
And 12 damage.
Wow. You see like some plumes of smoke come up from where the ballista is as like there's movement of people like trying to put out little tiny fires and see if it's still working.
Yeah, does the Firebolt, a flammable object hit by the spell ignites if it isn't being worn or carried?
Yeah, I would say a ballista is made of wood and therefore it is flammable.
Great.
So yeah, the people around the ballista are trying to put out the flams.
Oh, and my seedy sailors get a turn as well, correct?
Right.
I'm going to separate from them and send them up to attack with the cavalry. And I have 2 groups of those.
Great.
What's that other one?
That's infantry that's also under your control. So I was thinking maybe you would also like to.
I would.
So the sailors and the infantry go running up. They are both in range to attack this other unit of cavalry that the Israelite monks were trying to help with.
Right.
So go ahead and attack.
First attack is a 22.
22 hits. It is not more than 10.
Okay. And then I roll again for the second group. 23.
23 hits and is not more than 10. But they do need to roll morale. They get a +2 for their morale check, so we need to get a 13 on the die. A 5 will not do it. They cut and run. They are going to disband. They start running around all over the place, not following orders. They're throwing down their swords, crying, and praying to their false gods. Wow, that was pretty awesome.
You see that, Tirza?
I'm busy lining up my next shot.
And speaking of which, it's Tirza's turn.
Great. Things went well against the archers earlier, so I think we're going to go ahead and fire at some of the archers again. I think I'm going to aim for what is now the leftmost archers. So I'm just going to do longbow.
Go for it.
12 to hit.
12 hits. That unit loses a hit point.
Well, I get a second attack.
That you do.
So I have one of my new spells. It is spike growth. My range is 150 feet, and the ground in a 20-foot radius centered on a point within that range twists and sprouts hard spikes and thorns, becomes difficult terrain for the duration. When a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels. So I would like to trip up the enemy cavalry.
So you have made this 20-foot by 20-foot area in front of the castle an area of spike growth, and these cavalry are all slowed. Their movement is halved, and they take damage if they move. So as you connect to the earth in the way that you have been trained, and cacti pop up from the sandy ground surrounding the cavalry, making it really difficult to move through the area. And if they move, they will get scratchy.
Sweet.
And the archers at your command.
They're going to attack the opposing archers, starting with the farthest to the left. First roll is a 7.
7 will not hit.
All right, we'll do our second attack. That roll is a slightly better 13.
13 hits the archers. So this group of archers is now taking a second hit point, which means they need to roll morale.
Can Tirza shout anything to help bring their morale down? I suppose they couldn't hear me from this distance, could they?
We'll go with that.
Okay.
And also, they didn't need your help to break morale. They rolled a 5 and they break up, running and screaming and crying.
Gosh, having a good time with the archers back over here. This is great.
I disagree.
Way to go, sis.
Praise Yahweh.
You have one other. There it is. You have one other unit of archers who I assume you want to attack the now leftmost group of archers on the wall.
Yeah, we're keeping the party rolling. All right, first one is a 3 to hit.
The arrows go sailing. up into the air, but for some reason only about 10 feet in the air, and they land about 30 feet ahead of you in the field.
That's embarrassing. But what's less embarrassing is their next roll is a 19.
That is less embarrassing. It does not beat their armor class by 10, but this group of archers definitely loses a hit point.
Sweet.
And
can I send something supportive to the troops?
Sure.
Good shooting.
That was so supported. They feel supported. They feel seen.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah. And that brings us to this infantry that was holding. They are marching out the gate, making their presence known. So more infantry has mounted, and it is Joshua's turn.
So is there still cavalry for me to attack?
Oh, yeah.
Then let's attack them without going into the cactus patch.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to start by casting Thunderous Smite.
Oh.
And I'll attack with my longsword. 9 probably doesn't work.
It does not.
Okay, I will try again. What about 15?
15 hits the cavalry. As you hit the cavalry, your weapon rings with thunder that is audible within 300 feet, and your attack deals extra damage. So I will roll morale because they are at least taking 2 damage. They did not make their morale check. So that has sent them running and getting all scratched up on their way out of the cactus patch. Now your other cavalry gets to attack?
Yep. 11.
11 does not break their armor class. So the cavalry versus cavalry, that attack does not work. Anything else for Joshua and the cavalry? Oh, the other cavalry, they can only attack if they go into the danger patch.
They're not going into the danger patch.
Smart move. Joshua, would you like to give the spear troops and trebuchets orders?
Yes, I would like to order the trebuchets to launch onto the city and the spear troopers to move forward to attack the infantry.
Okay, spear troopers can move up here. We will let the spear troopers attack. They're going to miss, and the other spear troopers are going to hit. So one group of bad infantry gets a hit point lost. So they're thinning out the troops. And the trebuchets are going to attack on the castle.
Yep.
So the trebuchet gets +5 to hit, and they're attacking the castle walls. A 21 will do it. That is 4d10 bludgeoning damage with a damage threshold of 25. So anything under 25, no damage at all is done. That's going to be over. 33 damage to the castle walls. So the first trebuchet shoots a boulder, goes sailing towards the castle wall, and you see bits of stone flying everywhere as it does do some damage to the gate of the castle. Let's see. Math. Got it. Rabbis don't math. Okay. The other trebuchet. A 10 is not going to do it. The other boulder goes harmlessly off. The next round, they will have to load. These infantry are now going to get their turn, and they are going to come down here. These two are going to start going towards the sailors, so they can all attack their various units. We'll start with the infantry versus the CD sailors. They roll a 15, and the sailors have an armor class of 15. So these sailors are going to go down 1. And then the next unit of infantry is going to attack the same group of sailors, and they're going to miss. These infantry are all going to attack your infantry and cavalry if they survive. So we're going to start with this infantry to cavalry. Nat 1 is not going to do it. This next unit is going to attack the good infantry. 7 is not going to do it. And then this unit is going to attack that same infantry that the first one attacked. A 16 is going to hit. So the good infantry is down 1 hit point. And that's going to bring us to Arona.
Great. I'd like to just go catch up with Caleb in case I'm needed.
You could go that far.
Great. That
right
seems
next to Caleb.
Like a good place to be. And then I will, in one order or the other, I will attack with my crossbow, and I will use my spiritual weapon as my bonus action.
Nice. Okay. So you cast spiritual weapon, and once again, your glowing rod of almond branch appears on the field. Where would you like it to be?
Towards that massive group of infantry.
Great. You're next to two different groups of infantry with that.
And then do I roll anything now?
You can make an attack, yeah.
Cool, let's do this. It's a 13.
A 13. The infantry is able to withstand that attack.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, sorry.
So what about my
Arc bearers?
Hallelujah.
They've been instructed to move and keep moving. They're going to do their full movement, and then they will dash, which is 160 total feet. So they get around the castle to right there, and then, wow, they're almost all the way around the castle one time. And it is now the archers' turn on the walls. So the archers on the walls are going to take some attacks. The far right archers are going to shoot at Joshua and his cavalry. Nat 20. It's not going to be 10 over, but this cavalry is going to lose 2 hit points, and they will roll morale. They get an 11. This particular cavalry disbands. Then this group of archers is going to shoot at this cavalry. 15 is going to hit, and a 9 is going to miss. So 1 more hit point for that one, and that's going to be their need to take a morale check. And they succeed on the button. So that brings us to this group of archers. Both of these 2 groups of archers are going to rain some arrows on the arc bearers. So that's going to be 4 attacks at the arc bearers. I will roll these all at the same time. Out of all of that, only 1 hit. So 1 arc bearer loses a hit point. The ballistas are loading, and that moves us to Rahab.
Can I confer with my colleagues here?
Thing that you could shout in battle, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to shout, where do you need help?
Bolster the troops.
Okay, so I'm going to cast heroism.
Okay, on
the cavalry that's in the line of fire.
There is only 1 more remaining good cavalry, so I guess
yeah, that cavalry. I would like to cast heroism on them, which would make them more able to stand the morale dice rolls, I'm guessing.
I would give them advantage on their morale rolls with heroism, as well as 1 temporary hit point. And we'll give them a little purple dot to remind us that they have advantage if they need a morale check.
As my bonus action?
Yes.
I would like to give bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
So we're changing the theme of our music to something more intense because we were going with something light and jovial. Oh, by the way, sorry, the spell that I cast in the last, is it gone? What's going on up at the right turret there?
Ballista? Oh, yeah, you get to roll a d4. Let's see what happens.
So I rolled a 1.
So they smell apple pie, and they must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you until the start of your next turn.
Fabulous. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we're changing the tone. So now that the giggling has stopped and the delicious pie smell has started, we're now singing She's My Cherry Pie, which is a little bit more intense and also totally musician appropriate. And we're going to start singing that while I cast heroism.
For the sake of flavor, I'm going to say that they actually smell cherry pie as you begin to play that song, and they failed their wisdom save, and they are charmed by you, which means they cannot attack or target you, the charmer, and you have advantage on any social check. But not really much can be done socially during a siege.
Sure, that makes sense. So we'll just continue singing Warrant, anachronistic though it is.
I mean, who's to say that, what is it, Bon Jovi? Whose song is Cherry Pie?
Warrant.
Oh my God, I would have never pulled that out of my... Who's to say Warrant wasn't inspired to write their song by the escapades of the Bible that they read?
I believe you mean by the escapades of the ladies of the Jericho night.
Of course, recorded in the Bible that they read, which is changing on their timeline as we speak. So what would you like the spirit troops to do, Joshua?
I would like the spear troops to attack those guys, yes.
The infantry that they're
The
right
infantry, thank you. I was blanking on the word. I rolled a 4.
4 is not going to do it. Next troop.
Let's try again. There we go, 19.
19 hits. And that will cause that group of bad infantry to roll a morale. A 17 on the die is a 21 morale roll. They are sticking around. We are moving to Caleb's turn, and Caleb has stepped away for a moment. So I will have Caleb. First, Caleb is going to have his monks try to get rid of this cavalry. Yes, definitely. The monks are going to attack. They get a 15, which takes the cavalry down 1 more, which requires another morale check. They fail. They take out this cavalry. And so the remaining monk with Caleb, they're going to run to this side, whoosh, and do the same to this infantry, they hope. Nat 20. The infantry loses 2.
It's Yahweh.
Caleb is going to take his turn. Caleb is going to attack them as well with quarterstaff. 16 hits. So they will lose another. And because Caleb gets 2 attacks, he's going to do it again. And a 24 is not quite 10 past their armor class, but it will do another point of damage. And now that they are at half, they are going to roll morale. They succeed. All right. That brings us to Noah.
Great. So I suddenly remembered my Charlemagne. Let my armies be the rocks. And I cast Enlarge on the trebuchet next to me.
That is some serious messaging.
I like this a lot.
It's going to be a pretty massive trebuchet just for a little cat-shaped rock.
Okay.
Mhm.
According to the rules as written, you cause a creature or an object you can see within range to grow larger or smaller. So that trebuchet grows to double its size, and it will be able to deal an extra d4 of damage when attacking.
Amazing. I would like to use my sorcery points for Twinned and do that to the second trebuchet as well.
I take it back. I like this better.
Wow, those are some big trebuchets.
You got to thank my Charlemagne.
Good job, Charlemagne. Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to move. I'd like to move forward to Tirza.
You have moved up to your sister.
And then I turn over to Tirza when I get there. And I sort of nod back to the trebuchets and I say, pretty impressive, right?
You guys are like Gimli and Legolas counting kills.
Yeah.
How much does my 20 by 20 thorn patch count?
And then I'll just have my CD sailors attack the infantries near them.
So this set of CD sailors that's closer to the castle will attack this one that's kind of diagonal.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll.
That's an 8.
8 will not do it. And then the other sailors against a different infantry.
22.
22 hits. They are really hurting. They're going to have to roll. But infantry again have +4. Still too low to make it. This infantry disbands.
Right. And then I have that good infantry just above the CDC men.
Go for it.
And another 8.
Still not going to do it.
I think that's it.
Excellent. Tirza, you are up.
Okay. Tirza will take aim at the infantry.
Okay, roll to hit.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits. They lose 1.
Tirza's going to shoot at them again.
Okay.
That's a 9 to hit.
That's not going to do it.
Okay.
Archers.
The first group of archers is going to attack that infantry as well.
Okay.
They roll a 20.
Nice. That's 1 more hit point. Good job.
They're going to attack them again.
Okay.
They roll a 12.
12 is not going to do it.
Okay. The other archers are going to keep laying into them. They roll a 2, which I assume does not work.
Not going to do it.
19.
19 does take another hit point from the infantry. The infantry takes like 6 hails of arrows. They lose only not quite half of their number as they just like put their shields up and huddle together and try and avoid getting Swiss cheesed.
Sweet. Good job, y'all. Great shots.
That's going to bring us to the enemy cavalry. And they are going to push through. They're going to take a hit point of damage so that they can attack Joshua. You are on your own, not attached, so it's you versus them. They're going to roll a natural 20 as a troop of infantry comes at you. That is going to be 13 hit points. Other group of cavalry is going to attack these good guys. Nat 1 is not going to do it. That brings us to Arona.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Arona, once again, is concerned whether her healing skills are needed before she does anything else. Arona shouts to Joshua and Caleb, does anyone need healing?
I'm good.
All right. So I will return to my blooming staff and once again use my bonus action to deploy my spiritual weapon.
You can roll to hit on that infantry.
To 13 again.
13 is not going to do it for the infantry.
No, again.
Axe at them. They've got these helmets that the almonds just don't bust through.
So frustrating. Okay. In that case.
Are you able to heal your bearers? Because one of them got hit on the side of the...
Oh, that's true. I had forgotten about that. Am I close enough to...
You can have them move, and then by the time they come around, they'll probably be close enough.
Oh, okay. So can I pause my turn to move them?
We can say you can delay your turn so that when they get in range, you cast healing.
Okay, great. Let's do that. So that's it. And then now they will move.
They will cross through the range of your spell in their move. Okay, so we're going to say that now at this point, they're close enough. And so we will heal them.
Great.
And as they come around, they shout, "Third ballista on the right-hand wall."
Oh, great. Good to know. Thanks for that info.
And of course, I assume we also hear the hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The ice cream arc coming around.
All the way around the front of the city. So as the arc comes around, they're just speeding through and they're nearly finished with their second circuit of the city. And they stop right where that ballista is, but they are too close for it to get an attack. So they are underneath that ballista in such a way that it cannot attack them.
Great.
And it doesn't have a line of sight. Ooh, it does have a line of sight on Joshua, but it's not their turn yet. Okay, Arona, that's your turn. And that brings us to Rahab.
All right. First, I need to roll for my continued mischief. 3. Back to giggles.
They're back to giggling. Let's have them make a wisdom save. A 10 is not going to do it when they needed 14. They're back to giggling. They're totally incapacitated. This mischief is a terribly effective spell. And now your turn.
So I'm going to cast Shatter on the left ballista.
Fantastic.
I rolled 14.
14 on an inanimate object. Fantastic. That ballista was already pretty damaged, and it's going to take 14 more damage.
And it's on fire, right?
And it's been burning this whole time. So that ballista is really smoking and shaking and just not in good shape. Is that your turn, Rahab? I'm sorry, you need your unit to attack too.
Yeah. Oh, because now I also have the spear troops. And can my ladies of the evening also attack?
They can.
Like with weapons, or is it like slap fighting?
We could say they have short bows.
Fantastic. All right, so I'd like the ladies to fire at the archers, and I would like the spear troops to charge at the infantry.
Wow. Okay, let's start with the ladies. Roll a 20-sided die for them, please.
Which means the music stops, just so everybody knows. So, brace yourselves, because it's going to be weirdly quiet right now.
except for the wonderful thwang of bowstrings.
Yeah.
And the distant hallelujah ice cream truck.
Ah! I rolled a 3.
So the thwang is a little bit dissonant as the
So I said, everybody charge, and then I yelled, death, and then I fell over.
and then please roll 2 more times for the spear troops to charge. You said charge the infantry?
Yeah. 7.
That's not going to do it.
And one more.
More.
19.
19 will hit this infantry, taking away 1 more hit point. Fantastic. Okay, this ballista on its last legs is going to take a shot at the arc bearers as they come around. And they're going to miss. A big, huge, gigantic sized arrow sails over the head of the arc bearers as their increased AC allows them to dodge it.
Yahweh be praised.
Oh, so praised. And these last 2 units of archers are going to take some shots at the spear troops, 1 each. 1 misses, the other misses. I rolled a 7 and a 3 consecutively. That's not fun. Everyone's gone. Gosh, it is Caleb's turn.
Okay. Can you tell me how far I am from the ballista that's on its last legs?
You are 40 feet as the crow flies, plus about 50 feet in the air. So it's 90 feet total of movement.
Okay, great. Why am I in the air?
You're not, they are. They're on a wall.
Oh, got it.
Does D&D not use Pythagorean theorem?
That wasn't on my
Totally
character
not.
sheet.
Plus, she would have to go along the right angles anyway, over and then up.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. I'll go for some of the bad cavalry that are in our vicinity.
You have bad infantry next to you.
Oh, great. I'll take that one. Let's do quarterstaff and the dagger. I was feeling fancy.
All right. Fancy attack with the quarterstaff and the dagger.
18.
18 hits.
Amazing.
So they're going to lose a hit point.
And then the dagger gets me 11.
11 is not going to hit. So you bash them with the quarterstaff, but the dagger does not penetrate their armor, but you have taken them down another half. So they're going to have to roll morale. Wow. They break and run. They have heard about the might of the Israelite monk Caleb, and their fear sends them away.
Praise Yahweh.
Do you want the monks to do anything?
Yeah, who else is bad nearby?
There is an infantry here.
Let's do that. That sounds great.
So your 2 Israelite monks move in and close on the last infantry unit standing over here.
For the first Israelite monks, they roll a 7. That probably doesn't do much of anything.
Even with their bonus, it's not going to get them up high enough.
And 11.
11
Tough
with
luck.
the bonus will do it. So they're going to get 1 hit point off of this infantry. This is the first hit that infantry is taking. Is that it for you?
Yes, I think I'm all set.
It is time for the trebuchets to go, and they are loaded. I will roll for the trebuchets. The first one hits. That is 5, 18, 19, 20. It does not break the damage threshold of the castle wall, so it does no damage. The second trebuchet hits again, also bigger. This one's going to do it. 28. This one is going to damage the wall. As the trebuchets launch their boulders into the city wall, you start to see cracks form, and it's looking bad for the city of Jericho, which is good for our heroes. As we go to Noah's turn.
All right. Noah would like to cast Erupting Earth underneath the castle wall.
Oh, wow.
So choose a point you can see on the ground within range. A fountain of churned earth and stone erupts in a 20-foot cube centered on that point. Each creature in that area must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
Okay, here's how we're going to deal with this. A city wall has no dexterity.
Right.
It cannot move, so it will automatically fail the saving throw.
Right.
You just have to roll above 25 on 3d12. Even a 20-foot cube could not also damage archers or ballista, but you could probably center the spot
Yeah, right where the cornerstone is. Is that a cornerstone? What's it called?
Yeah, it's called a cornerstone. I think it's the stone the builders refused.
Great. I am going to cast Erupting Earth. 19.
19 does not break the damage threshold.
Okay. That'll be it for me. And then I'm going to ask my CD sailors to attack their closest enemies. Let's have my good infantry first attack the infantry right above them.
Okay, go for it.
8. Not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
I'll have my other CD sailors move towards the edge of that cactus.
Okay, and they're going to attack the cavalry right there?
Yep.
Okay.
And that is 16.
16 hits.
Great.
And that brings them to half as well. So we got to roll morale. They make their morale check. I rolled a 19 on the die.
Let's move my last CD sailor up. Attack that first infantry group again.
Great.
23.
23 hits. Good hit. All right. That brings us to Joshua.
I indicate to the battering ram to go hit the wall.
Okay. The battering ram is going to attack with a +8 to the wall. 26. And that is, that is 25 on the button. It's going to take 25 more damage. Again, the walls are like starting to crack, and we're going to butt that battering ram right up against the wall. Walls start to crack and shake, still not down. Joshua, anything else you're going to do?
I'm going to cast Thunderous Smite.
Thunderous Smite, cast as a bonus action.
I'm going to swing my longsword. 13.
Does not hit.
Okay, well, let's swing it again. How about 25?
25 hits it, beats it by 10. Thunderous Smites it. That is all of its hit points. These do not run away. They simply are destroyed because as you start to swing, one of them says, "Smite me, O mighty smiter," and you follow their instructions and destroy that unit of cavalry.
In the name of Yahweh, they are smoked.
They're definitely not smitten. Is that it for you, Joshua?
Now that I've first smoten them, I'm good.
The bad guy's infantry is going to go. They look around and they realize they're surrounded and they're going to attack the spear troops. Yeah, they miss. That brings us to Arona.
Great. So the arc is going to continue to make its way around on its third time around.
Yeah, the arc bearers are coming around. They are on their third trek. You are pretty sure that they will make it after one more turn. And as they pass the city this second time, you feel a rumbling that's kind of emanating from the ground under their feet as they make this third pass with much more power than the last two passes seem to have had.
So while they are continuing their journey around, I will cast Burning Hands.
So you're going to come up here next to Caleb, who's going to let you be in his space.
I love fighting alongside my brethren, Caleb. And so many days. 13.
13 is enough to knock 2 off of this cavalry. Cavalry rolls morale, and they get a nat 20. They're sticking around.
So for my bonus action, I will also use my blooming almond staff against this same cavalry.
So your staff moves into the cactus field and takes a swing. Go ahead and roll that.
It's a 9.
9 is not going to do it. The little shower of almonds on them. And one of them bends down to pick one up and realizes it's not going to be something he can eat. Is that it for you?
I think it is, yeah.
The trebuchets get loaded on this turn. So both of them are loaded. All right, Rahav.
I'm going to cast Shatter at level 3 on the walls of Jericho.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So I assume you're going to aim for the same spot where we've been hitting it with battering rams and trebuchets and all that. Okay.
Absolutely.
You have 4d8, so you got to be higher than 25. I'm going to say the wall has no constitution to save against.
23.
23 is not going to break the damage threshold. That's so sad. How about the ladies of Jericho?
So I was going to say, if they have the same I do, then they have, say, suggestion, and they could cast second level suggestion at some enemy combatants. Let's have the cavalry destroy themselves.
So your command is going to be to have the cavalry closer to Jericho, move to the other enemy cavalry, and attack them.
Yes.
Okay. So they need to roll a 14 wisdom save and 6 on the die. So the cavalry moves. As it moves, it takes a hit point of damage. They attack the other enemy cavalry. They hit and do another hit point of damage, incurring a morale check for the cavalry. The cavalry rolls a 14. They needed a 15. This cavalry disbands. The enemy is almost out of troops.
I still have my spear troops, right?
You still have your spear troops. And they can throw their spears at the cavalry should they choose.
I was about to say, we could just finish them off right now, can't we?
Probably could if you attack well enough.
Let's do it. Let's attack well enough.
Roll
attack well enough.
roll to attack with your spear troops.
I roll 17.
That does it. So that's 1 hit point down. That 1 hit point will incur a morale check for this cavalry. They do not make it, and they disband. With all of the enemy troops on the ground, eradicated, and the archers up top not having much to do, the ballista needing to reload as the arc makes its way all of the rest of the way around without needing to take turns, because you can all just watch it happen as you've obliterated the rest of the enemy troops. The arc is able to make the rest of the way for its third thunderous circuit around Jericho. And as it completes its third circuit, a divine light comes from the sky, shoots down into the city of Jericho. The walls come crumbling down. And as the walls come down and your troops all advance onto the city, the heroes stand before the king of Jericho, who has no name and is known only as Melech Jericho, the king of Jericho, sees you all come into his city, understands that there is no fighting against Adonai and Adonai's troops. He acknowledges Adonai as Adonai Tzvaot, the military god of might, as he lays his sword down at Joshua's feet and takes a knee.
I shout, kneel before Zod.
He looks up and says, Zod? God?
I meant God.
He takes a knee, his head bows, and you realize that you have conquered the capital city of this land that has been promised to your ancestors and to you. For generations and generations, your people have been waiting to come into this land, and you have finally made it possible by destroying the city of Jericho, by allowing the people to surrender to the one true God, as you are allowed to build your home in the promised land, find a real place for the people, and start establishing tribes throughout the land, as you have successfully completed the siege on Jericho and our second year Torah Smash one shot.
Woo!
Yay!
Hey!
Our hosts, we thank you so.
Well, I have a question. What happened to Tirza's cat rock?
I think it got buried under Arona's mound of that she, her tribute to foreskins that she's collected.
Oh, that seems like a fair place for it to end up.
It becomes the new cornerstone of Jericho.
There we go.
I like that. A little cat head at the entrance.
Perfect.
It was thrown by a catapult. To our guest hosts of the past year, on behalf of Ethan and Barak and myself, I want to say thank you so much for the huge time commitment you have spent playing our little game with us. I hope that this has turned you all on to D&D. I know that Rabbi Sharf, I will see you in a couple of weeks as we play our personal game. And the rest of you, I hope that you find some time to play Dungeons and Dragons with your friends and family. But that will be it for this episode of Torah Smashed. Our fiscal sponsor is Jewish Creativity International. Our theme music was created by Sean Fogel. You can check out Sean's bands and studio work at www.thesleepywest.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us wherever you listen. It helps others find us and is an excellent way to support the podcast. We want to hear from you and continue today's nerdy gaming. Go to torahsmashed.com to find where to connect with us online, purchase swag from our store, support us with a donation, find previous episodes, and more. And you may not believe this, but during our adventure, I had a chance to carry the Ark of the Covenant myself, and the God of Israel spoke to me through it.
No way.
Yahweh.
I'm waiting for the right moment for another endowment size joke after your enlargement.
Yeah, please don't dirty my spiritual healing. Thank you very much. This is real work. This is God's work.
She has a name, and it's My Bubby.
My Bubby told you how to bring down Jericho.
If you change your mind, here are a couple of sound bites to cut over. Sailors, 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 sailors.
The Hallelujah
Stop.
ice cream truck.
I don't want like an end of 5-hour groan we're done cheer.
Yeah.
I want
And the
like,
people rejoice.
Yeah.
Maybe that's more realistic for war.
Forgive my ignorance. That's outside of my nerddom. Who's Rachel Kanish?